Hey, what's going on? Trip Kramer here from tripadvice.com. I have something so cool for you today. A secret hack to never run out of things to say and to keep a conversation going. The reason why I call it a secret hack is because this is something that I made up that no one knows. I've never heard anyone talk about this and do this little quick trick that you can do just from your phone or from your computer. And I'm going to be teaching you what it is today and then giving you examples of how it works. It is amazing. It is something that I teach my coaching clients. So when you're working with me, it's something that I have my clients do in order to get better at conversation and become a master without even having to go out and talk to women, although that is one of the best ways. But if you're interested in getting coaching, I want you to go to coachedbytrip.com and you can apply to be one of the students here. Whether it's from me or one of the coaches here at Trip Advice, we do have multiple packages to help you get to the next level with meeting women, attracting women in your town, especially with online and in person. So we teach all the different methods so you can have lots of dates and you can see the crazy results that guys have gotten. If you go to this page, you'll see an application form, but you'll also see, if you scroll down, there is videos, real testimonials from real clients who've gotten amazing results. So check that out if you need more help. Okay, so why is this important? Well, obviously, when you're going out and you're talking to more women, you get stuck in conversation. You need to know how to continue it. Now, here's the thing. What we'll be learning today isn't necessarily going to be the method that's going to help you flirt or build attraction. That's another skill set. But what this is going to do is provide the skill of being able to continue a conversation and keep it going so that whenever you meet a girl anywhere or anyone anywhere, so it doesn't even matter if it's a girl, it could be networking, whatever it is, if you end up in a conversation, you're going to know how to continue it with ease with enough practice using this little hack. And what's going to be really cool is once you get this down, then you'll be able to know how to flirt, because then it's going to be easier to insert flirting and building tension when you are talking to women. But you can't really do that easily if you don't know how to continue a conversation or keep it going. So what is a conversation? What is a conversation? Think about conversation as tangents. That's all a conversation is. When you're talking to someone, it's tangents. So what that means is you're talking about the topic of whatever it is. Let's just say it's music, for example. So you're talking about music, and then let's say you're going on these little micro tangents. So you're talking about your favorite band, which leads to you talking about another band, which leads you to talk about a concert that you went to. But then you're not going to be talking about music forever. Maybe that's going to lead to something else, where you talk about, okay, you saw music in a certain city, and then all of a sudden that city is the topic of conversation. You're talking about Los Angeles, and always, oh yeah, Los Angeles, and then you talk about a story in Los Angeles. So everything is either these tangents or micro tangents. So it's very important. You have to understand what this is before I give you the hack, or else you won't understand how to do this little hack. So you have to understand, again, everything in conversation is tangents. Now, when it comes down to tangents, you're either going to be asking a question or making a statement. So that's what a conversation is. It's just a bunch of tangents which are represented through questions and statements. I'll say that again. Conversation is tangents which are represented by your questions and your statements. And so if we break it down to understand exactly what a conversation is, then you're going to be able to hack your way into it. When I say hack your way into it, you're going to be able to get into a conversation and know how to continue it with ease. Okay? So how can we practice this? Well, ideally, talk to more girls. That is the number one thing, is if you throw yourself into enough conversations, you're going to start getting better at talking to girls. However, I'm going to be teaching you how to do this without even leaving your home. That's right. The hack is something you can do when you're at home, when you're on the bus, when you're walking, whatever it is. As long as you have a phone or a computer by you, you're going to be able to do this, and it's going to help you with practicing conversation. Let's dive in. So this is randomwordgenerator.com. You don't have to use this website. You can literally type into Google just random word generator. There's a bunch of random websites like this. Excuse all these random ads that are popping up, but random word generator. So what's the idea here? Well, you can generate random words. Why do we care to generate random words? So in order to be able to learn how to continue conversation and be able to practice this, the hack is every time you're in a conversation with someone, there's a key word that pops up. There's a key word. And every time there's a key word, as long as you're listening and you're doing what's called active listening, then what you're going to be able to do is use that word and somehow extract it, I like to say, and then be able to continue the conversation based on that word, whether you're going to be asking a question or making a statement. So I'll give you an example, okay? Some words are just, obviously pretty hard. So fault is tough one. We'll go to this one, bitch. Okay, that's a good one. So let's say that you're talking to someone and the girl says the word bitch. And you can say, oh, you know what? I remember when I was growing up, there was this one girl in high school and she was such a bitch, whatever. Or you can ask a question. You can say, what is the thing in your life that's the biggest bitch right now? So I just used a question and I used a statement based off of this word. It wasn't the most interesting thing in the world. You do your best, but you keep on generating random words, and you can even just do one at a time. So let's see. Okay, earthwax. I don't know what that is. Okay, well, here's this. So if someone says the word earthwax, you can say, wait, earthwax, what is that? That's a question. Obviously, you're not going to have a statement for that. That's a little bit harder. Let's keep going. Participate. We're kind of looking for, I should mention, nouns. So if it's a verb, it doesn't always work as well, but we'll use it. So participate. So what's a question off of that? So you could say, when's the last time you participated in volunteer work? Okay, that's a question. A statement off of participate. You could say, the last time that I participated in any sort of volunteer work was forever ago. It was 10 years ago, whatever. Again, we're not trying to make it the most interesting as possible. We're just trying to use these words to practice the art of the tangent, okay? Troop. So troop, first thing that comes to my head is Girl Scout troops. Oh my God, I love Girl Scout cookies. They're so good. I love getting them whenever the Girl Scout troops are coming around. I always buy a package, okay? A question could be, were you ever in any sort of troop? Were you in Girl Scouts? Were you in whatever? Okay, I'll stop here. All right, pneumonia. Okay, this is kind of a dark one. I'll say, man, pneumonia is such an intense thing to get. I heard people rarely recover from it. You can say, do you know anyone who's ever had pneumonia? So again, that's a question, a statement. The reason why I'm having you practice questions and statements is so you can be able to continue a conversation no matter what, right? Not everything's always going to be a question. And I really, really encourage you to use more statements. Statements are more powerful because you don't want to be question in a conversation. Then it becomes an interview. Okay, let's go to another one. Okay, justify. Okay, so justify. It's so frustrating whenever I have to justify myself to people. It's never a fun thing to do. That's a statement. Question could be, have you ever felt like you had to justify yourself to anyone in a time when it was frustrating for you? Again, doesn't have to be the most interesting thing. All right, generate random word. Essential. The most essential thing for me is swimming 3 times a week. I absolutely love it. You can say, what's the most essential thing you've ever brought on a vacation? So again, I'm not amazing at this, but I'm fairly quick at it because I've practiced it a lot. I've used this myself. And so I want to get you to the point where you're able to generate a random word and just boom, go for it. So miscarriage. Oh God, that's dark. Okay. I know one person who's had a miscarriage. It was one of the saddest things in the world. Statement. Question could be, have you ever dealt with someone who's had a miscarriage? What was that like for you? Okay, so dark. Next one. Joke. That's lighter. What is the best joke that you've ever heard? That's a question. A statement off of this would be, okay, I'm going to tell you a joke. Here it is. So again, when you're talking to someone, you're going to be going on different tangents, right? So you're going to be going on tangents, and the way that you can force these tangents is by listening to what she's saying, taking that word, extracting it, and continuing from there. And then you can go to, again, the internet, randomwordgenerator.com or whatever website you want to generate a word, to practice this. And this is actually going to get you better at conversation because it's going to get you to think on your feet. It's like an improvisational exercise. Guys, If you need more help, go to coachedbytrip.com. I'm here to help you. My team is here to help you. We have many more hacks and different little cheat codes that help you with conversation, attraction, and flirting, and getting women to like you. I know this is the very first step, the secret hack to never run out of things to say. So use this, see how it works for you, and I'll talk to you in the next episode.